All right, welcome back to another episode of Chip Theory. Today I'm going to discuss another modal key called the Lydian mode. The Lydian mode is the fourth degree of our major scale. The mode that begins on the fourth note of our major scale. Here I've got the poker chips laid out from D to C sharp. The D down here being our key note of the Lydian mode. So we're going to be looking at D Lydian. First thing we need to realize when we're playing our D Lydian scale is the pattern for the Lydian mode. The Lydian modal pattern is going to be a whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half. So you're going to have 3 whole steps and then a half step, 2 whole steps, and then a half step for your Lydian mode pattern. Again, this is an inverse pattern to the Locrian mode, which is just the Lydian pattern backwards, or half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole, whole. So the Locrian is whole, 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 Lydian is whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half. The second thing we need to realize when dealing with our D Lydian scale is the key of which the Lydian mode will be derived from. Given that it's the 4th degree of our major scale, we can simply count down 5 half steps from our key note, or the D, to reach the key that the major scale of which our D Lydian scale will be formed from. So let's count down 5 half steps from D. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here is our A note. So we can simply see that 5 half steps down, the D is going to be the 4th degree of A major. So our D Lydian scale will have 3 sharps just like A major. And if we were to move our D back into position here, since there's 5 half steps down, we know there's going to be 7 half steps from D to A in this direction, or a 5th. So we know our relative major key in Lydian falls on the 5th degree of our D Lydian scale. So we could simply play an A major scale starting on this note, D, or we could form the Lydian mode by using the pattern of whole and half steps that we said before. So let's use the pattern. So again, it's 3 whole steps from D. There's 1, 2, and 3 whole steps. Then a half step here. Then another whole step. Another whole step. And again, our final half step will be here from the C sharp to the octave D. Okay? And it's easy enough to see that our pattern in inverse is the Locrian pattern, a half step, whole, whole, half, whole, whole, and then a whole back to the D. Now that's not necessarily the right notes, and it's going to sound like the Lydian scale coming descending, but the pattern is the Locrian pattern. So going up, we have the Lydian pattern, whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half, and down we have the Locrian. So if you know your Lydian scale, you also know your Lydian pattern, your Locrian pattern as well. Let's remove the notes that are not in the D Lydian scale. This leaves us with the notes D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, and C sharp. Now you can simply see now that we have a D major scale with our 2 sharps from D major with a raised 4th note, or the G sharp. And Lydian mode is the mode is a sharp 4 mode, so we are going to sharp the 4 of our major scale that begins on our key note here, the D. Again, we can also realize that A is our relative major that's on the 5th degree. And if we were to move these into position, we would have our A major scale here. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, and G sharp here in this position. And if we were to give these scale degrees their numbers, A would be 1, B is 2, C sharp would be 3, D is 4, E is 5, F sharp would be 6, and G sharp is 7. And if we shift around again to our Lydian mode, where our fourth degree is first, we simply have D Lydian here, starting on the fourth degree of A major. So 4, 5, 6, 7, here's our root of A, and then 2, 3 of A. 4, 5, 6, 7, root, 2, 3. Again, that's a whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half pattern. Okay, realizing this, we can then form our triads of the Lydian mode, our D Lydian scale, by simply using alternating notes of our Lydian scale. The scale degrees from A are going to be 4, 6, and root, or D, F sharp, and A, which is major. Our second triad, D Lydian, is going to be 5, 7, 2 A, or E, G sharp, B, which is also major. Our third triad will be 6, root, 3, F sharp, A, C sharp, which is minor. Our sharp 4 here, or the G sharp. Here's our fourth triad. It's going to be a diminished 7, 2, 4 of A, or G sharp, B, D. Our 5 is going to be a major. This is our relative major. Root, third, fifth of A, C sharp, and E. The sixth one is 2, 4, 6 of A, or B, D, and F sharp, which is minor. And our seventh chord here is 3, 5, 7 of A, which is C sharp, E, and G sharp, which is minor. So those are the triads. Again, your qualities of the triads are of Lydian mode, where the first position is major, the second position is major, the third one is minor, the sharp 4 here is diminished, the 5 is major, the 6 is minor, and your 7 is minor. Okay, realizing that, we can form our seventh chords doing the same thing by adding the fourth degree, fourth note, and we can put them in this direction. So here, starting on D, we have 4, 6, root 3 of A, our first position of D Lydian. So it's going to be D, F sharp, A, and C sharp. D, F sharp, A, C sharp. Again, we have a 2 + 1 interval here for our 3 of the minor third here. Because F sharp to A is here, we have F sharp to G sharp is 2, and G sharp to A is 1. So these two notes are 2 + 1 interval. And the minor third here on the major 7 chord. Again, it's a 4-3-4 spacing. D major 7. Our 2 chord is going to be a dominant 7, the 5, 7, 2, 4 of A, E, G sharp, B, and D. 5724 scale degrees. It's going to be a 4-3-3 dominant 7, E dominant. Again, the threes are going to have a 1 plus 2 here and a 2 plus 1 on this minor third here. If you look closely at those, all your dominant sevens have 1 plus 2 and 2 plus 1. So all your 5724 scale degrees have those particular spacings in all keys. The only difference here is that it's on the 2 position of our Lydian scale. Our 3 chord is the 6 root 3 5, F sharp A, C sharp and E, and F sharp minor 7. Now the 6 root 3 5 minor 7 degree has a 2 plus 1 spacing here and a 1 plus 2 here. So there's one of each of the 2 plus 1 minor thirds and a 1 plus 2 minor third. Again, 2 plus 1 on the bottom and 1 plus 2 on the top. So 3-4-3. Our sharp 4 chord is a 7-2-4-6 chord from a relative major. G sharp, B, D, and F sharp. 7-2-4-6, half diminished 7 chord. G sharp, B, D, F sharp. Again, a half diminished has a major third here between the 4th and the 6th degree of our relative major. And it's going to have a 1 plus 2 spacing here and a 2 plus 1 here. Our 5 position of D Lydian is the root 3rd, 5th, 7th of a relative major. A, C sharp, E, and G sharp. Again, this is the scale of which the D Lydian mode is derived from. Here in the 5th position with a 1 plus 2 on the center interval for our 4-3-4 spacing major 7 chord. A major 7. The 6th chord is the B minor 7, 2-4-6 root, B, D, F sharp, and A. The B minor 7, the 2-4-6 root of our relative major. Again, this is going to have 2 plus 1 intervals on both of its minor thirds for the 3-4-3 spacing. Our 7 chord is a minor 7, 3-5-7-2, C sharp, E, G sharp, and B. C sharp minor 7. And this minor 7 is going to have 1 plus 2 spacings between its minor thirds on both of them. So 3-4-3. Okay, so those are going to be our chords of D Lydian. We have a D major 7, E dominant 7, F sharp minor 7, a sharp 4, G sharp half diminished 7, an A major 7, the B minor 7, and the C sharp minor 7 in this particular positions. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chords of D Lydian. Let's talk about the inversions of these chords. And assuming that the scale degrees of these don't change, we're going to discuss mainly the interval qualities of the particular qualities of the chords. So looking at this, you can see we have the Lydian mode 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3 across the bottom. If we consider across the thirds, we have the Aeolian mode 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. Across here we have the Ionian mode, the A major scale across the fifths, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. And across the sevenths we have the Phrygian mode, starting on C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, and B. So those are all modes as well. And if we look at the patterns in inverse, again, we can determine the various patterns of those as well. It's important that we understand the pattern of the scale as well as the scale degrees. So the Lydian mode was whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half across the bottom here. Okay, anyways, for our inversions, we're going to look at the first chord here, a D major 7, 4, 6, root 3. Again, we're going to invert this. It's a 4-3-4 spacing. And we invert it, we have the 3-4-1 spacing, starting on F sharp, A, C sharp, D, D major 7. Here's a 4-1-4 inversion, starting on A, C sharp, D, F sharp, or 1-4-3 spacing, starting on C sharp, D, F sharp, and A. Coming down is A, F sharp, D, C sharp, F sharp, D, C sharp, A, D, C sharp, A, F sharp, and C sharp, A, F sharp, D. For our second position of D Lydian, we have the D, the E dominant 7, E, G sharp, B, and D. Again, this is a 5-7-2-4 chord with a 4-3-3 spacing for dominant 7s, which is a minor third above a major triad. So we have the D above an E major triad. If we invert our E, we have the 3-3-2 position starting on G sharp, B, D, and E, to a 3-2-4 position starting on B, D, E, and G sharp, to our third inversion, dominant 7, the 2-4-3 starting on D, E, G sharp, and B. Coming down is B, G sharp, E, D, G sharp, E, D, B, E, D, B, G sharp, and D, B, G sharp, E. Our third chord was a minor 7. This was the 6 root 3-5 chord, a minor 7, 3-4-3 spacing, starting on F sharp, A, C sharp, E. Here we have the 4-3-2 position, starting on A, C sharp, E, F sharp, to our 3-2-3, C sharp, E, F sharp, A, to our 2-3-4 position, E, F sharp, A, C sharp. Coming down is C sharp, A, F sharp, E, A, F sharp, E, C sharp, F sharp, E, C sharp, A, and E, C sharp, A, F sharp. Our 4 chord, so sharp 4, again, this is our sharp 4 for Lydian, was going to be the G sharp half diminished 7 chord, G sharp, B, D, and F sharp. Half diminished 7s have a 3-3-4 spacing. We're going to invert this, but move our G sharp to the top. We have our third on the bottom, giving us the 3-4-2 spacing. B, D, F sharp, G sharp, to a 4-2-3 spacing, or half diminished, starting on D, F sharp, G sharp, B, to our 2-3-3 spacing, half diminished, F sharp, G sharp, B, and D. Coming down is D, B, G sharp, F sharp, B, G sharp, F sharp, D, G sharp, F sharp, D, B, and F sharp, D, B, G sharp. Our 5 chord was a major 7, A major 7, A, C sharp, E, G sharp. It's a 4-3-4 spacing. Move our A to the top. We have the C sharp on the bottom. Or 3-4-1, C sharp, E, G sharp, A. Or 4-1-4, starting on E, E, G sharp, A, C sharp. A 1-4-3, starting on G sharp, A, C sharp, E. Coming down is E, C sharp, A, G sharp, C sharp, A, G sharp, E, A, G sharp, E, C sharp, and G sharp, E, C sharp, A. Our 6th position chord was a minor 7, a 2-4-6 root, a B minor 7, B, D, F sharp, and A. It's a 3-4-3. Here we have a 4-3-2 position, starting on D, F sharp, A, B, to our 3-2-3, F sharp, A, B, D, to a 2-3-4, A, B, D, F sharp. Coming down is F sharp, D, B, A, D, B, A, F sharp, B, A, F sharp, D, and A, F sharp, D, B. Our 7th position chord was a C sharp minor 7, a 3-4-3, C sharp, E, G sharp, B, to our 4-3-2, E, G sharp, B, C sharp, to our 3-2-3, G sharp, B, C sharp, E, to our 2-3-4, B, C sharp, E, G sharp. Coming down as G sharp, E, C sharp, B, E, C sharp, B, G sharp, C sharp, B, G sharp, E, and B, G sharp, E, C sharp. And these are the chords of our Lydian scale. We're going to have the D major 7, an E dominant, F sharp minor 7, a G sharp half diminished 7, A major 7, B minor 7, and C sharp minor 7. And those are your chords of the D Lydian mode.